Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to Gachagua, the tallest man in Black Africa. Any general election is determined by how the government has been behaving. If you look at the elections of 2022, it was largely determined by many factors, among them how Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and William Samoei Ruto were operating the Jubilee government. The way they were running the Jubilee government determined the outcome. The squabbles, the divisions, the disunity, the disjoint government is the one that resulted in William Samoei Ruto being a very strong candidate, especially in Mount Kenya region, because many people sympathized with him. Many people saw Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta as the bad boy, as the insincere boy, because he is the one who was not fulfilling Yagu Kumi, ya Ruto Kumi. And people will always side with the person who is appearing to be outwitted, or the one who is appearing to be the victim. That is the underdog. People will always side with the underdog. And I want us to look at how Gachagua's politics is going to determine the politics of this country in 2027 general elections, or what is going to happen before that time. If you look at the way Gachagua is doing his politics, if you observe him very keenly, just as I said in my other video, you realize that he's very, very abrasive, very extremely abrasive, saying words as they should be said, not missing any word, and he's coming out as a bully. And this one is going to affect the outcome of 2027 general election, because one thing that is going to happen, his abrasiveness is going to alienate the Gema nation from the other communities, because they believe that this is a Kikuyu king who is doing this. And if you ask me, for example, I will say that you realize that many communities are not comfortable with him because of the way he has been campaigning, because already he has always been campaigning. He has been attacking Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. He has been attacking Raila Amolo Odinga. So these are things that are going to affect the 2027 general elections. And I can say for sure that the Kikuyus are likely to be alienated by other communities. This means that they will be isolated when it comes to 2027 general elections. And I don't know whether this is what William Samoei Ruto wants, because maybe Gachagua is falling into William Samoei Ruto's trap, because I've always opined that William, also known as Bill, is a very, very, very shrewd politician. At this point, let me wish him a happy birthday. He's turning 56. So maybe he is setting Gachagua to fail. He is setting the Kikuyus to be isolated by the other communities. Because when you look at his Gachagua's politics, that abrasiveness, that way of even appearing like you are lording over everyone, it's something that is not going well, auguring well with the other communities. However, his way of doing things, also known as modus operandi, is likely to make UDA a shell, because many people may run away from UDA. I don't think Musalia Mudavadi and Kenya Kwanza, not Kenya Kwanza for that matter, for Kenya, are comfortable with UDA. Remember, in that by-election, that is Bugoma, after Wetangula was elected the Speaker of the National Assembly, we had a by-election. And there was an agreement, what I call a gentleman agreement, between Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula and William Samoei Ruto, that UDA was not going to to contest in Bugoma, but who is William Samoei Ruto. Although he was defeated, he was able to measure the depth of the ocean, the depth of the political oceans. Although Wetangula's candidate won, you realize that Mudavadi was not happy. You realize that Wetangula was not happy. You realize that the Luhya nation was not happy with William Samoei Ruto, because he came out as somebody who is insincere. That is what is going to happen in 2027. UDA might turn out to be a shell just like Jubilee. The other thing is that this government of William Samoei Ruto is likely to be very unpopular, because you realize most of the things that are being advocated by this government are things that are not popular with the common mwananchi. If you look, for instance, I understand that he is going to read a budget of 3.6 trillion, the highest budget in Kenyan history. And what does this mean? This means more taxation and more borrowing. And it also means that people are going to suffer for sure. People are going to dig deeper into their empty pockets. People are going to tighten their belts, although they have no belts to tighten. So this is going to make UDA administration very, very, very unpopular. And when it comes to 2027, I think the opposition has something to smile about. Because if they organize themselves well, if they put their house in order, I think they can win. They can easily win these elections. In 2027, if they can be able to front a strong candidate, if they can be able to do something if they can be able to remain united, I can tell you, they can win this election in the morning, whether Kamago will be there or not. The other thing that is going to happen in this election, because of what is happening in Kenyan politics, where people are now saying Gachagua is a dictator who is ruthless, a dictator who can say anything, who can do anything, because he is dictating everything. He is dictating terms. He is saying that things must be done according to the way he wants. So what is happening is that people, especially at this time, people know what is freedom. Dictators are not very popular, by the way. Dictatorship, it is something that is out of the tunes of the modern life, because people are now used to freedom of expression, freedom of association, freedom of everything. So what there is that because William Samoei Ruto and Gachagua are coming out as dictators, then the government is not likely to succeed in 2027 general elections. Again, this government is being perceived as a Kikuyu government. If you ask me, this is bad. This is not good. Because the other communities are seeing William Samoei Ruto's government as being controlled by the Gema Nation. It is being controlled by the Gema Nation because there's that feeling within the Kikuyu community that they own William Samoei Ruto. In fact, none other than Gachagua himself have been bragging that they are the one who made William Samoei Ruto to become the president, whether right or wrong. But when people start perceiving the government as a government, then the other communities are likely to move out of Kenya Kwanza government. They are likely to leave this government to the Kikuyus. And if it is left the Kikuyus, then it is gone. If it is left the Kikuyus, then you can see how difficult it will be for UDA to win the 2027 general elections. And this is something that William Samoei Ruto needs to take care about. Because if he doesn't take care, things may turn against his wish. Again, when you look at this, you realize that the Kikuyus, for instance, because of the feeling of entitlement, the Kalenjins are not happy with them. And you realize, I don't know whether you have realized that Gachagua's meetings are not being attended by the Kalenjin leaders. Like in the first few days in office, whereby all the Kalenjin would troop to the meetings. You don't see the Kalenjins going to Gachagua's meeting. The only people who are attending are the Kikuyus. And you can see now that narrative of Kikuyu Kalenjin coming together and having what we call the tyranny of numbers is not going to hold any longer. I think it will be very, very difficult for a Kikuyu or a Kalenjin to become the president after William Samoei Ruto. Again, this coalition is turning out to be very fragile. Extremely fragile. Though coalitions are usually very fragile, this one is very slippery. Because you have to keep on looking over your shoulders. Because there's a lot of mistrust in this coalition. If you look at Mudavadi, when did you last time see Mudavadi and Gachagua together? Because all these guys are coalescing around William Samoei Ruto. But amongst themselves, there's a lot of mistrust. amongst Mudavadi and Gachagua, amongst Mudavadi and Wetangula, there's a lot of mistrust. And amongst this guy Mutua, Alfred Mutua, and Gachagua, a lot of mistrust. So you can see it is a very, very fragile coalition. Again, there is this issue of Gachagua trying to intimidate other leaders, elected leaders. When he said about Sakaja that, when he said that he's not going to allow Sakaja to do some things, especially when it comes to things that are touching on Kikuyu business people in Nairobi, this is not something that is auguring well with Sakaja supporters. Remember, Sakaja has also his supporters. When Gachagua started bragging and saying that the Kikuyus are the one who made Sakaja the president, this is not something that is making Sakaja to smile. And this one can only bring dissatisfaction among the party supporters. And again, this feeling among the other leaders, especially the governors, where we have the deputy president interfering with your operations, with your jurisdiction, it is something that it is not good, something that is not bringing what I would call independence mind, freedom of thought. Because how is Sakaja expected to work if he has to keep on consulting Gachagua on every decision? Remember, though we have two levels of government which are interdependent, I think the county governments need to be given a free hand to do what they are supposed to do, because you cannot have the national government trying to control the county government all the time. Because if you ask me, I would say this is wrong. So if you are here for the first time and you have never subscribed to this channel, kindly subscribe, hit the red button. And for those who have subscribed to this channel, I'm humbly, very, very, and extremely happy. I'm humbled by the way you have been able to support this channel. Kindly keep on supporting this channel, and may you have a blessed Christmas. Those who are traveling, I wish you journey mercies. Those who remain at home, the most important thing is that you have peace of mind. Merry Christmas.